Emily Henry and I have beef sometimes. I love a good nihilistic book. I don't know why. I think I'm a very optimistic, hopeful person, but I love a nihilistic book. In the month of April, I read 4 books. And while that is not inherently bad, it's not inherently good or bad. It's kind of bad for me personally because I'm accustomed to reading 100 books a year. For the past couple years, 100 books, 100 plus, 122 last year. But this year, I've been a little, how do you say, distracted? How do you say, crafty? Like, look at this. I've been crafting, okay? But that is going to be remedied this week because we're going to just read. We're gonna dedicate the time, carve it out, and just stop scrolling, stop watching TV shows before we go to bed. We're gonna read. We're gonna use our brains. We're gonna use our imaginations. That's the plan this week. I don't even know what I'm titling this video. I just know that I wanna, reading is my entertainment, as I've said before, so I want to get back to that. Oh yeah, hi, my name is Ashley Hannah. I'm the Moody Reader. I might change this channel's name eventually because it's just a little, If you're wondering what the 4 books I read last month were, this is them. I reread City of Glass. It was a good time. It was a reread. I reread Legendborn. I'm now realizing there was a lot of rereading that happened last month. But it was a good time. The sequel, I'd started it, DNF'd it. Terrible. I read The Villa by Rachel Hawkins. A middling book, very mid. An okay mystery thriller-ish type of a vibe. And then my magnum opus was A Storm of Swords. So this is really what took the biggest chunk of time from me. And so I am giving myself a little bit of grace for only reading 4 books last month because one of them was an almost 1,000-page tome. So what can you really do? There's only so many hours in a day. So come along with me as we scour my bookshelves for a book to read. That, takes me away from reality. All right, let's go to the shelf. We are now over here by my messy shelves. I need to have a to-do list. One of those items on the to-do list needs to be organize the shelves, maybe do a little dusting, but here we are. Okay, so I have a few options. What are they? Lots, actually. There's fantasy, romance, maybe some sci-fi. I don't know. The world is our oyster. So, off the top of my head, we have, an anticipated release, which is kind of not anticipated because I'm seeing mixed reviews, shall we say. And that is Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. And I am hesitant to read this because Emily Henry and I have beef sometimes. And you know why? Because the last couple of releases that she has had have been mid-tier at best. I'm speaking to mostly Happy Place. That one, that was on my worst books of whatever year that was. It was, in my opinion, terrible. What was the last one she came out with? Funny Story. Funny Story was okay. I think I gave it 4 stars. It started off great, and then it went to a very mediocre place. But I kind of have hesitation, but also anticipation with this book because I'm seeing reviews that say that this is barely a romance. Shall we look at some reviews for Big Beautiful Life, maybe? The ones that really made me want to pick it up. So everybody's giving this book 2-3 stars. The ones that have been really instrumental in my wanting to read it have been, Chan said, I don't say this name in vain, but this was not my cup of tea, not romantic at all. And the story within a story was so boring. It had Taylor Jenkins Reid vibes, but again, the interview bits were dull. That makes me really want to read it. I hope it's good. And then also, Kayla from Books and Lala, all of her review just says, with a 2-star rating, ellipses. Oh. Sold. And if you know me, one of my favorite authors, her name is Vari McFarlane, and people constantly say her books are not romances, and I would have to agree. It's more like literary fiction, and literary fiction is one of my favorite genres. So if this is more lit fic than romance, it stands to reason that I will enjoy it. So we're going to pick this one up. I don't really know what it's about. I think it's about, I should know about this because I did a video on it last year. I think it's about a woman who is no, not an author. She is a biographer. I don't know, a journalist. A journalist, that's what she is. And she is trying to get a position to, not a position. She's trying to win the spot to do a biography on this really famous woman named Margaret, I believe. But she has to compete against this man who's very taciturn and surly. And this really, honestly, if it does what Emily Henry did in Beach Read, I won't complain, because I feel like the, I don't want to say tropes, but the themes are pretty similar. So we'll see what happens there. So I think that's going to be our TBR option number 1. So put that right there. I also could read / should read Jurassic Park by Michael Crichton. I should read this one because I was supposed to read it last year. Did I? I did not. But every time I've started this book 3 times, and every time I do, I'm like, genius. I love it. It goes so quickly. But then I always stop around the 30-page mark. So we will see if I feel like picking this up. I want to have the best chance of liking a book. And I think I will like this. But again, the jury's out. What's it about? You know. It's about dinosaurs. You know. So we're putting that one there. What else? Oh, I shouldn't add these in because it's not on my physical TBR, but I also have some ebooks that I could read and get to. I know that I borrowed Notes on the Underground, or Notes from the Underground, something to that effect, by Fyodor Dostoyevsky. And I read a lot of Dostoyevsky's work. I say a lot. I read 2 books last year by him. And I really enjoyed them. So I want to see if I can pick that up. Again, we'll see. But that one's been rented, so if I'm going to get to it, I need to get to it quick. And it's pretty short, so I feel like it's doable. So we have a classic we could get to. And then, I forgot that last year I picked up Piranesi by Susanna Clark, and I never picked it up. So that's a maybe. I think this is about a goat man. What's that called? A satyr. A satyr who... Let's just read the back, shall we? This is about Piranesi's house is no ordinary building. Its rooms are infinite, its corridors endless, its walls lined with thousands upon thousands of statues. Within the labyrinth of halls, an ocean is imprisoned. Waves thunder up staircases. Rooms are flooded in an instant. But Piranesi is not afraid. He understands the tides as he understands the pattern of the labyrinth itself. He lives to explore the house. There is one other person in the house, a man called the Other, who visits Piranesi twice a week and asks for help with research into a great and secret knowledge. But as Piranesi explores, evidence emerges of another person, and a terrible truth begins to unravel, revealing a world beyond the one Piranesi has always known. Come on, give me nothing. I feel like I could like this because I liked Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, but it went on for way too long. So if this, since it's nice and short, I feel like it could be a good option. So maybe. I could also read Prince Caspian by C.S. Lewis. I say this because I read The Chronicles of Narnia. I read The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe for the first time this year, and to my sister's chagrin, but also to her enjoyment, so now I can talk to her about it. And she's been telling me that I need to read the whole series. So she's like, read Prince Caspian, and she says, read the books in publication order. So I shall. But yeah, this is actually her copy. So we'll see if I pick this one up. What other books do I have on loan from the library? I think I have Pretty Girls by Karin Slaughter. So I might pick that one up. I think it's due back soon. So if I'm going to do it, I got to do it quick. Okay. And those are the books that we could get to this week. Keep watching if you want to see how it all goes. If I read even one book, it will be considered a win. All right, y'all. I had to work today, so we haven't done the most amount of reading, but I have done a little bit. I have made a decent dent into I was about to say Big Beautiful Life. Great Big Beautiful Life. I will say Emily Henry, the title, little wordy, but other than that, I am 75 pages in, and whoever said that this was not good, granted, I'm 75 pages in, so it's early days, but whoever said that it wasn't good I'm sorry, y'all are lying. This is pretty good. I'm not going to lie. I cannot front or deny. So first, opinions. This is about Alice and Hayden. Alice, like I said, is a journalist who ends up finagling her way into the opportunity of a lifetime to further her career. And she's competing with Hayden, who is a surly man, and it's basically just the grumpy sunshine combination that everybody loves in romance novels. It's that trope, which I have a problem with tropes in general because I feel like authors rely on them too much, but that's neither here nor there. The thing I want to talk about is the fact that I just like the writing style. I like the setting and the atmosphere the most, I feel. It just feels like a summer vacation. That's all. They're in Georgia, on an island near Georgia, but it just feels like a vacation I went on when I was like 16. And I really enjoy the main character because even though some of her dialogue is a little awkward and cringy, she's self-aware and she knows it's awkward. She knows she's the way she is, and you can't really fault her for that. And she's just really empathetic and optimistic and maybe a little too naive, but I really enjoy her character. And I even enjoy Hayden, even though we don't have too much of him right now, because they keep on running into each other. So I just feel like this is working for me right now. Now, I have gotten to the point where we're talking to Margaret, so I know that it's going to delve more into the story within the story. But again, I like stuff like that, so I think this is just really catered towards me. So I'm appreciating that. Oh, I will say, there's a lot of reference to her height, which is 5'8", which is tall for a woman. And why is it? Riddle me this. Why is it that every single woman, including myself, maybe not every single one, but a lot of women, including myself, we talk about our height like it's some kind of like newfangled thing. It just is what it is. And like I said, I talk about it too much. I know. I'm always like, I'm 5'2". Like, no one asked. No one cares. So she is doing that too much a little bit because there's certain scenes where she's talking about how she's like eye to eye with him, knee to knee. She takes up more space than a girl usually would, which I kind of get because if you are a taller woman, I could see where that would be a thing you talk about a lot. But yeah. Right now, I'm enjoying it. I really like it. It's very like small town, like I said, summer vacation type of feel. So I'm into it. So I'm about 300 pages into this book, and I can't tell why people don't like it, honestly. Is it the best romance I've ever read? No, because I don't love, and maybe that's why, I don't love Alice and Hayden's story. It's not super compelling. I get that I like both the characters individually, I guess. I don't necessarily love them together. I like that Alice is super empathetic and she truly believes that you don't know what anybody's going through, so try to treat everybody as such. I really love that. I like Hayden and how his background, like that's the thing. Your history makes you who you are in the present and in the future. So I like all of that. But do I love them together? They're okay. They are simply okay. What I do love about this story is Margaret Ives's tale, and how at the beginning of this book she really underscores that to know about me, you have to know about my family, and it's like a quilt. You can't pull it one square without pulling the entire thing. So yeah, I like it. I really enjoyed the genesis, if you will, the genesis of the Ives family. I like it. What can I say? I have really nothing else to say about this book because, yeah, it's a romance. And that's the other thing. I don't understand why people are saying that there is no romance, because there, quite frankly, is. These two are like, it's a romance. So this is not a spoiler. They are grinding up against each other any chance they get. So I don't really see what you guys are saying. Never mind. This was bad. And so bland that it was offensive, if that's even a thing. I will talk a little bit about non-spoilers, and then I need to spoil because I need to talk about this. I need to talk my feelings out. I've already written them out on Goodreads. My Goodreads is linked in my description if you want to go see what I thought, written out. But this was such a letdown because it had promise in the beginning. It really did. It made me think, oh my goodness, it's going to be a book that's not just about the physical of a relationship, or it's going to be about life itself and how great, big, and beautiful it is. But no, it wasn't about any of those things. The romance was insta-love because these two people, Hayden and Alice, they are in this competition and they know that Margaret is going to choose one of them at the end of a month. So you know at the set of this book that it is a month's time span. And so to think that these two people are going to have this romance, because we know it's a romance between these two people, in a month, and the feelings they feel and the declarations they make in a month, like I said before, they are like, it gets very physical, but like their definition of sex is very, in my opinion, arbitrary. So it's just very physical very quickly, and I really wish that there had been a little bit more of that tension that we had in the beginning, where they're like, I feel drawn to you, but I shouldn't because we're enemies, we're competitors. So that was the first thing that ticked me off. The second thing, and the most egregious personally, is the fact that the story within the story, which is the biography of Margaret, was very promising. That is the word of this book, promising. When it's just about how she comes to be and, here's the thing. Emily Henry gets you with she's not going to tell you all about Margaret until Margaret wants to tell you about Margaret. So she strings Alice and us as the readers along, and when we finally get to Margaret's birth, her conception, and her life, it's very underwhelming. Very. this is just a very disjointed and jarring, that's the same thing, disjointed, underwhelming story. At the very end, it's like, it's a great, big, beautiful life. Is it? It didn't feel like it. And then there's these side characters that, what do they add to the story? Trick question, they don't. So those are my non-spoilery thoughts. Skip to this timestamp and you will miss the spoilers. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, spoilers. So the big reveal for this book is basically that, okay, so Margaret Ives, she tells her whole story to say that like the paparazzi and the tabloids, the media kind of influenced her family, I guess. And so by the time she gets to be of age and a grown person, she's famous for nothing because her family had done all of this building and stealing, I guess, and grown the family business, which was like newspapers, the pictures, you know, stuff involving Hollywood. And so when Margaret meets her husband Cosmo, it's when her sister Laura had a crush, like had an idolization, and then their grandfather dies while they're at a concert. It's a very like, why do these things matter kind of a deal. Then Laura ends up in a cult, and then she needs to be taken care of, and Margaret doesn't want to have a kid, but her husband wants to have a kid, and then they realize, Cosmo realizes, maybe we shouldn't bring a child into this messy world of ours, which is just like the fact that they get things written about them. Anyway, in the end, Cosmo dies, and Margaret ends up being pregnant, and she gives the baby up for adoption. The baby that gets given up for adoption is Hayden's mother. We all saw that coming. If you didn't see Jody, the like servant or helper of Margaret, being her niece, I don't know where you were. Jody is Laura's daughter. And the Captain Cecil ends up being important to the story because he's Jody's dad. Like, the reveals, so boring, so underwhelming. It made me mad because Emily Henry was like, this is going to be big. This is going to be poignant. And it just wasn't. So, yeah. I really hated it. I gave it 2 stars. 2 stars. It was very bad. And like, also, what makes me mad, this is just a rant, is that the main character, Alice, ends up not being the main character. Like, the angrier that I get, the more I say, like, her side story is a side story of her not feeling like she's worthy of her mother's praise and attention, and it just all felt so arbitrary. So by the time they get together in the end, because there's a tiny third act breakup, by the time we get there, I was checked out. I did not want to read it. So, yeah. Emily Henry has disappointed me, honestly, 3 times in a row, because I did not like Happy Place. I thought Funny Story was okay. I gave it 4 stars, but I should have given it 3. And this book, Great Big Beautiful Life, 2. I might need to stop buying these books, honestly. But the only reason I bought this is because I had a gift card gifted to me, so it was free. Okay, what's the next book? Okay, I need to read a book that has stood the test of time. I'm gonna read Jurassic Park. What's this about? An astonishing technique for recovering and cloning dinosaur DNA has been discovered. Now, humankind's most thrilling fantasies have come true. Creatures extinct for eons roam Jurassic Park with their awesome presence and profound mystery, and all the world can visit them for a price. Until something goes wrong. Ellipses. I think I've watched this movie. No, I know I watched the movie, but I don't remember it. I know I watched the sequel, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, Jeff Goldblum and his black daughter. I loved it. So I need to actually just like commit to this one. I know I'm gonna like it. I know I will. I know. I really need to at least fix some of this on this shelf. Oh my goodness. I have Mansfield Park just laying around. Good gravy. Things you save in a fire. What was I doing with these books? Oh, I was gonna give some of them to my sister. Not give. I was going to lend some of them to my sister because she was trying to figure out what to read next. My sister and I have very different taste in books. I'm more experimental and explorative. She likes romance. And that's it. So that's why you see, like, I was trying to have her read Beach Read and Things You Save in a Fire. Both good books. They're just, Beach Read, basic, you know. But basic is good sometimes. Don't ask me why Atlas Shrugged is in the romance section. Don't ask me. I cannot tell you. I have no rhyme or reason for that. I don't have any space for Things You Save in a Fire either. Also, my Mortal Instruments books. Ugh. I'm supposed to be reading these. I need to get to these. I need to reread them because I did a video rereading the first half. I'll link it right there. The first half of the series, part 1, shall we say. And then I just never did a part 2. So I need to get on to City of Fallen Angels very soon. It needs to happen. But will it? I don't know. So we're just going to put these back where they should be. Everything else, that's basically where everything needs to be. There's books. So I need you guys to tell me, should I do a wrap up of the last 3 months of books? Because I haven't talked about the majority of them. Like, one of my favorite books of this year was The Most Fun We Ever Had by Claire Lombardo. And I don't know why I didn't do a vlog on it. I didn't talk about it later. I just didn't. I guess I was busy. But I read that one and I really loved it. I read the newest Finlay Donovan book and I really enjoyed it, but I never talked about it either. So I'm kind of slipping when it comes to BookTube, but I don't know. Yeah. So that was the cursory glance of like what's happening up here. Everything is just disorganized. Like, I just need to go through with a fine-tooth comb and just edit the hell out of this and like just take things out. But anyway, we are going on to Jurassic Park. And what have I gotten to in this book, you ask? I've gotten to the point where we've seen instances of this new species, there we go. This new species of like lizard thing, and it's trying to kill, not trying, but it's harming these babies, children, elderly, and we really don't know what it is. So there's like the scientist that's going here and there to figure out what it's about. So I'm really early days. I think I'm in chapter 1, first iteration, and in the New York part. So that's how much I've read, which is 25 pages in. So by the end of the day, I want to be at least 100 pages into this book. That is the goal. Hey y'all, I'm back from rehearsal and it is like almost 5. I was supposed to exercise today, but I didn't because I was reading. So I think I should probably do that now. But the only thing I can really realistically make myself do is walk. So I'm Gonna get on my walking pad. But before that happens, I got a package and it has nothing to do with books, but I still have to show it because it's so fun. Basically, all that I got was yarn. Just lots and lots of yarn. So I got this red, I got this burgundy, and this yellow, because I do have a project that's taking up quite a lot of yarn, and it is this temperature blanket. I've shown it before. No one really cares about it, but except for me, so that's why I'm showing it again, because I care about it. I really do. It looks like this. It's now so large that it takes up most of the screen, and I love it. It is my passion project. It is so fun. If you don't know what a temperature blanket is, it's when every single day of the year you have a temperature. It's either the high, the low, or the average, and you choose a color to correlate to that temperature range. So, you know, for mine it was like cooler greens and blues, and as we get warm it goes to reds. I really like it, but it takes up an exorbitant amount of yarn. So yeah, I bought some. So that's what we have. And yeah, so now I actually have started reading something else besides Jurassic Park, and it is Notes from Underground. And I am so confused and yet intrigued by this book because it's ostensibly just the ramblings of a man who just went underground because he couldn't take life up top anymore. I can't remember what he said he was. He said he was an officer of something. I'll tell you later, but it's so weird. I don't understand it yet. And because he talks about how, well, first off, he's like, my liver. And then he's like, what can a man talk about with real passion? And he said, answer, himself. So he's just talking about himself and how the person that can, how he, when he's truly happy, he just wants to mess it up. And I relate. I think we can all relate to that. So I don't know. I just know that I want to keep reading it. So we'll see if we get to Jurassic Park today. If I'm talking weird, it's because I burnt my mouth on my chicken tendies today. So my mouth hurts a lot. It's like the skin is peeling like in my gums, on my gums. So yeah. Okay, I need to get walking or else I'm never going to do that because then I got to make dinner. How did this happen? Oh my goodness. What? I'm all caught up in my yarn. Okay. Catch you on the flip.
Several days later.
Hello. I'm back, probably with a fatter face, but it's okay. I kind of just abandoned this video because this book right here, it just pissed me off so much that it ruined my reading mood. I'm so sorry. In the meantime, oh my gosh, get back over there. In the meantime, I did finish a book. The applause is right there. I know it is. Yeah, I did finish a book. I'll tell you about that in a second. But I did try to read other books, and I just wasn't in the mood for it. More than likely because I tried to read Notes from the Underground. Jury's still out on whether or not I'll finish that book. I should have finished it because it's less than 200 pages, but oh my goodness, it is so weird. And only because the way it's written, you're inside this man's head as he's underground writing these notes, and he thinks he knows everything. He's very cocky, and he keeps talking about his liver and his spitefulness and the tooth. It's like a toothache. He thinks that people like pain, and it would be fine if it wasn't like, when you're reading this, his thoughts are very intense, and so it's hard to continue reading it for a long period of time. Other than that, it's okay. Like I said, jury is out on whether or not we're gonna finish it. I did pick up Pretty Girls by Karin Slaughter, and I finished that one actually today, and so that's like a week later after finishing a book. Pretty Girls is about this family, these two sisters, who 20 years ago, their older sister disappeared. They don't know where she went. Some people think that she ran away with like a cult. Some people think she was killed. Some people think that there's a lot of theories, right? And so you're following both of the remaining sisters and their completely different lives. And you also have another narrative that's like a journal entry kind of a thing. And yeah, it's just about where did she go, and we're trying to figure this out. And I think that's all I can say without spoiling it. I liked it. I gave it 3 stars, but there was a certain point in the book where because this book talks heavily about rape, and at a certain point it becomes less about a mystery, because honestly, we kind of know what happened to Julia. Her name is Julia. We kind of figure out what happened to her pretty quickly. We kind of know who did it. And at a certain point, it just becomes about torture porn. But yeah, it just becomes a lot to read. And I did know that it was going to be a lot going in, but it made me nauseous and queasy. So it was not, like, at a certain point, I didn't enjoy reading it. So that's the only thing. But I read it. It was very interesting, and had a nice ending. That's all I can really say about that book. So yeah, we're gonna figure out what to read next. I did end up catching up on my my reading journal. I have not caught up on the reviews in the reading journal. Don't think I can. Well, I probably could, but it would take a little bit, and I don't really have that free time. So I did put all of the reads that I have read from late February to now, because I was sleeping on this thing. So we put all that in there. I think now I've read 32 books this year, which I would like to get that up, hopefully. So we're gonna see what happens. I think I am going to continue on in Jurassic Park. We're at a point in the book, 28 pages in. Woo! We're at a point in the book where there was this, we're just getting all these reports of these lizards just eating babies. And so in this instance, there was a midwife that helped a mother birth a baby, and she finds these, right after the birth, she finds the lizards just in the baby's room, and they've eaten the baby. And she decides not to tell the authorities that the baby was eaten. She decides to make it that it was like a case of SIDS. So, shame on Elena. Shame on Elena. But yeah, we're gonna continue on. We're actually gonna get some reading done this week. Gosh, I have to tell you guys though, the book that I really want to read, that I have no access to, is Cover Story by Vara McFarlane. It's out in the UK now, and I can't read it. Because it doesn't come out until, I don't know when, but it always comes out really late in America. And I did request it off of NetGalley, so we'll see. Fingers crossed if they give it to me. I'm really hoping that they do, because they have given me some in the past. And Harper, Avon, whatever publication, if you want to work with me, hit me up, because I would love to do your PR. I say this in every single video that I do with a Vari book every year. So I would love to read that. And also, I saw that With a Vengeance, the new Riley Sager, is coming out next month on the 10th, but I want to read it now. So I just requested the book on NetGalley. I probably won't get it, but you never know. You miss 100% of the shots you don't take. But yeah, I am continuing to read Jurassic Park, and we're getting to the setup now. We're almost 50 pages in, and I thought that the crux and ending of one little plot point was that just a random technician came in to meet with a guy that was like, you know, higher up, and she was like, "Oh, look at that dinosaur picture," and he was like, because it was Tina Bowman. When she got attacked by the lizard, she drew a picture of what it was, and it looks like a dinosaur. And so Alice, this technician, is like, "Cool dinosaur," and the guy's like, "That's not a dinosaur, it's a lizard." And she's like, "No, I have boys. That's the dinosaur." So I thought that was very funny. Also, it's possible you're wondering what I was doing in the meantime when I was supposed to be reading. I was crocheting a blanket. The colors I've used don't make sense. Let me find a better way to show you. Oh, that looks okay. This is the blanket. It's the viral, like, 6-star blanket thing. It actually looks pretty cool now that I'm looking at it. But yeah, I have not finished it in 6 days, but that's what we've done. I need to stop my crochet habit, but also ignore the other. Like, I'm making so many blankets. I can't. Good morning and welcome to another gloomy day. This one has a legitimate update with the reading front. Praise bless. But I figured it out why I can't read this book very fast. And it's because of its size. It's such an awkward size. It's a very short book. It's a mass paperback, I feel. I hate holding it. And it's like when I open it, unless I wanna, crackle the hell out of this thing, it's not gonna go well. So I read it like this. But I am 100 pages in, so I did get a significant amount of it done last night. I mean, not that significant, but you know what I mean. And I'm really enjoying it. I am. It is, I don't know what I expected if it was going to be a lot like the movie or not. Granted, I haven't watched the movie in years, so I'm very, I don't remember what happens in it. All I know is there's a park, because these foolish humans think, yes, let's bring dinosaurs to life and make a theme park about it. Seems smart. But I'm loving the characters in here. So I've met Dr. Hammond. In fact, we're at Jurassic Park right now. And I've met Dr. Hammond, who is the kind of the idea man behind this. And what's funny is that he was like traveling the world with his like little miniature elephant that he had gotten from these people that were like engineering these, scientific marvels. And that in and of itself is like, you just travel with an elephant that you're basically trying to pitch to people. The elephant, even though it's miniature, it has more temperamental issues. So it gets irritated and angry easier. So that is red flag number 1. And then Dr. Sattler, Ellie Sattler and Grant Allen, I believe. Alan Grant, whichever one, whoever. They have been asked to go and see if the island is dangerous. And they've also brought along, because one of them is a paleontologist, one of them is a botanist of some sort. She has a very, she's a longer name to her title, and they also bring along a mathematician whose name is Ian Malcolm, that's right. And he is just a Debbie Downer. He's like, chaos theory states that this is not going to go well. And if you watch the movie, you know it's not going to go well. So yeah, that's what we have been doing. We also have the side plot of these people who, you know, ostensibly are on Hammond's side, but they realize that he has made this Jurassic Park. And so they're like, we need to steal from them so we can reverse engineer and have our own Jurassic Park. Because what's better than a rival Jurassic Park? So we have some espionage, we have some dumb scientists, and the other thing that I thought was really funny was that when Ellie Sattler gets to the island, she's the botanist, she's like, that plant over there, that's poisonous. She's like, humans, they don't think that, you know, a plant could be, because it's all very historically accurate, and they took plants that would have been in that Mesozoic era and brought them into their current day. And she's like, that's fine, but that fern is poisonous. So I'm really enjoying it. I like that there's a little humor now that I've gotten further in. So the humor's good. And I'm not gonna lie, I considered DNFing when it started talking about dinosaurs and science. Because I was getting The Martian energy. And if you know me, I did not finish The Martian. Andy Weir and I, we do not... We have beef. Andy Weir and I, Anyway, so I'm going to continue reading. Let's see how far I can get in today.
All right, we're going to hope this goes a little bit better this time because I actually did film this clip earlier and I was completely out of focus. So, womp womp. But in a thrilling twist, or a surprising twist, turn of events, I actually finished Notes from Underground, or From the Underground by Fyodor Dostoyevsky. The jury's still out on whether or not that book is called Notes From or Notes from the Underground. I've seen it both ways, so I'm not sure. But I did finish it, and I did not think I was going to like it because the first bit, part one, is just the monologue of Mr. Underground, this unnamed man who, it does bother me, we never know his name, but you know, I got over it. But it is about his meanderings and his talking about why he's underground and why humans are capable of doing good, but we self-sabotage, basically is what he's saying. So that he's saying that humans are bad. And it gets better when he expands upon what happened earlier in his life, in his early 20s. And what I thought was really fascinating was just him and this group of friends, right? Like this quote unquote group of friends who he has so much disdain for. I really enjoyed reading about there's this moment that he thinks is really big, but it's not really that big to anybody else. He just overthinks everything. And that's where I see myself. I think I see a lot of myself in Dostoyevsky's characters. This one is the predecessor to Crime and Punishment, which makes sense when you get to a new character that's introduced towards the end of this novella. But she really reminds me, it's a woman. She really reminds me of another character in Crime and Punishment. Do with that what you will. And, but yeah, so his introduction to his friends is really the turning point for this book because there's little instances where he has been invited to a dinner with these friends and I guess loosely invited. They're like, fine, you can come. But he ends up going. And before then, mind you, he's concerned with all of his being on how early he should be. He's like, it's 5 o'clock. So when should I get there? Should I be fashionably late, early, what have you? And so he shows up the next day, and not even the wait staff is there at this restaurant. And the candles aren't set, nothing's there. And he's like, I've been humiliated. And yeah, so they're like, oh yeah, we changed the time. Did we forget to tell you? Sorry. So it's just like the pettiness of people, and also like overthinking, self-sabotage, what have you. And like the themes of the book are touching on nihilism, which I love a good nihilistic book. I don't know why. I think I'm a very optimistic, hopeful person, but I love a nihilistic book. Love. And then it also talks about egoism, which I don't think I've read a lot of books that, are discussing those themes in general. But yeah, I really liked it. It was a lot to begin with because it just feels like one long intrusive thought at the beginning. But then we get into kind of, like I said, what makes him him, and he becomes a much more, I guess, a character you can empathize with. So yeah, I really liked it. 4 stars, not bad at all. I think that this is going to be where I leave you because it's been a long 2 weeks, and yeah, I just got finished with recitals and demonstrations, so I'm a little tired. But what did we read these 2 weeks? I don't know. We read, what's that book called? The Great BBL. I saw somebody else write that on a video title, and I thought it was hilarious. Yeah, we read Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. Awful, 2 out of 5 stars. Would give it 1, but I really did enjoy the premise in the beginning. And yeah, I just really like the setting. The setting was so good, but then it had to flop so hard. But then I read Pretty Girls by Karin Slaughter, which, funny enough, both Great Big Beautiful Life and Pretty Girls are set in basically the same state. They're both in Georgia, so I thought that was interesting. They are both very different. So yeah, I would be careful when you pick up Pretty Girls. It's rough.org. And yeah, I guess, like, if we're talking about recommendations, would I recommend these books that I've read this week? Like, and they're so weird. I would not recommend Great Big Beautiful Life. Really wouldn't. I would recommend Pretty Girls if you liked Gone Girl and Sharp Objects, basically any Gillian Flynn book. If you like that, you would like this. It is a lot, though. There are trigger warnings to fill a Costco, but you kind of know that when you're going into this type of a book. I don't know if it's supposed to be a mystery, but it really wasn't that mysterious. Like, I get that there was a reveal in the book that you're like, oh, but even still, I was like, didn't we all know that? I thought we all knew that. Sorry, I'm just too smart. But yeah, so I read those 2, and then, of course, I finished Notes from Underground by Dostoyevsky, my 3rd of his work, and I think I need to get that one that's called White Nights or something like that. Because I really liked it. Once I got past the run on spite and my liver and a toothache-ness of it. So I would recommend it. If you can get past the first part, you will like the second. So yeah, I read that. And then I did get a little bit further into Jurassic Park. I'm only at page 157. And like I said before, I'm only going so slow because this book is a very unlikable size. It's just too squat for me. I'm going to keep reading it because I bought it, but I just don't like how it feels. And that's a very first world problem. And I know. I also will say that it is a sci-fi, so the dinosaur-ness of it is making me go, It's just a little bit too much like Brontosaurus and then Tyrannosaurus. And then if you think I know any more, you'd be wrong. Pterodactyl. We've actually seen no pterodactyls. Not a one. And I'm very disappointed. But what's fun about this book is that The humor is nice, and it is teaching me a little bit of science. That's cool. Not any that I'm going to retain in this noggin of mine, but I do think that it's a book that really reads. I understand why they made a movie of it. It reads like a movie. And I'm now at the part where we've got some kids introduced into the mix. And you're like, what could, and also like the main character, not the main character, I guess the main villain, John Hammond keeps on going, what could go wrong? He's like, nothing could go wrong. It's foolproof. And I don't know, there's just a lot of like, makes you not want to go to a zoo ever again, which I don't like going to zoos. The zoos are awful. Boo. Ban zoos. But like, they're also kind of cute. Anyway, but yeah, so I read some of this. Hopefully we'll finish it this year. Here's hoping. And yeah, that has been my week. 2 weeks. Sure. If you want to see the progress I made on my crochet, here it is. She's a big boy. Like, that's pretty good, right? So I think I'm doing pretty well on this. I know I botched the middle, and that's okay because the stitch count worked out in the end. I don't suggest botching the middle and just plowing through, but I managed to do it. But yeah, it's not done yet. I will keep going, but yeah. That's what happened this week. 2 weeks. The next video I don't know what it's going to be because I am not only in a book slump, I'm in a video slump. So comment down below what you want to see. I'll probably do whatever I do, but if you have something you want to see, type it down. And yeah, because I think I want to do a reading or continuing series I started. Mind you, there's not a lot of series that I started that I haven't finished. Although Red Queen is now staring at me from behind. But, like, Red Queen really wasn't that great of a book. Anyway, that remains to be seen. So I think I'm going to do one of those videos. And I'm going to try and read. There's a lot of books that have been coming out recently. Not recently, but a lot of books that are out right now that I'm like, ooh. I've seen that picture of that book so many times. Like, Emily Wilde, something encyclopedia. I don't know what it's about, but I requested it from my library physically. So we'll see if they have a nice copy that isn't hanging by a thread, because I found a book like that once and it was awful. This feels like stream of consciousness. And now that I'm holding my phone up, y'all, I really want a tiny mic, but they're expensive and I don't really want to do that to myself, not to my wallet. It's summertime almost. It's still spring, but we'll get to summer eventually. Anyway, that was a lot of rambling. Okay, bye.